All right, so welcome to today's market review and expectation. So, as I do every week, um, I take a look at what I was expecting the previous week against what actually happened in the markets, and then I also take a look at what I expect the following week to actually perform or to deliver in the market. So, I mostly focus on the dollar index in the euro, and sometimes I add the pound. Okay, so let's head straight into what I'll be expecting in the coming week. Sorry, on Monday we have the pound. We have the bank holiday in the affecting the pound, and then on Tuesday we have Lagarde to speak amid impacts around 5 p.m. and then on Wednesday around 2 p.m. we have the existing home sales affecting the dollar, and then on Wednesday again a number of high impact news, the FOMC economic projection, the statements, the federal funds rates, and then around 6:30 the press conference. All right, so on Wednesday the market is going to have a whole lot of volatility being injected, and you have to be very cautious on this particular day if you'll be trading. I advise you take a look at the landing session and then you wait for this whole news to be done with, and then you go into the charts to trade again the following day. So on Thursday, we have around 11 a.m. GMT. So all the times here are in GMT. We have NPC official bank rates votes affecting the pound, and then the monetary policy summary also affecting the pound, and then official bank rates for the pound as well. And then around 12:30, we have the unemployment claims affecting the dollar. Okay, so Friday around 7:15, we have the French flash service PMI affecting the euro. And then for the euro again, German flash manufacturing PMI also affecting the euro. Then around 8:30, we have the pound. That's the manufacturing PMI affecting the pound, and then the flash service PMI also affecting the pound. Okay, so on same Friday, we also have USD flash service PMI, and it's around 1:45 in the afternoon, and then around 6:30, the Fed chair Powell speaks. Okay, so this coming week is kind of packed with so much news releases, and have just have to be very cautious in our trades. So let's head straight into the chart. Let's take a look at what was expected in the previous week against what actually was delivered in the just ended week. Okay, so this is the dollar index, the DXY, and then um, the feed from TVC on TradingView. Okay, so in the previous video, this was where price had already traded to, and as I was talking, I was expecting price to run below this particular low, okay, which was around 108.286. Okay, I was talking about the fact that I was expecting price to run below this that particular low, and then we run this particular low as well, and most likely we have our fair value gap dipped in around this area, then we can move for higher prices above this particular high. Okay, but price actually went much lower. Went as I was expecting around this particular low, but we couldn't go below this particular low, and we had that um, reversal from that particular end, and which is actually inside of this particular high end of this fair value gap. Okay, so I also talking about the fact that should price um, run above this particular high, if it should open and on Monday or Sunday we run above this particular high, then my expectation for this low and this particular low to be run was going to be um, avoided. Okay, so that was what I was expecting, and what price actually gave us was this particular high. We had our reversal from this particular fair value gap right there. Okay, so what am I looking at in the coming week? So in the coming week, I'm actually looking at this particular high, okay, that we created, okay, to be run up. I'm looking at that particular high to run out, and then we take out this particular high in the dollar index where I was expecting in the previous week I talked about, and that's still the targets for the coming week. So as it is right now, price can only drop into this particular fair value gap this low, then this particular high right here inside of this side. We can drop down into it, and then we have our run high and run this particular high, and then this particular high. So that's my expectation for the dollar index. And then let's take a look at the USD. So this is the USD, and then as I was talking about, as I expect price to run a little bit lower in the dollar, and then we run higher as we run into that particular fair value gap, which is this particular fair value gap. Okay, now I expect that the euro would completely fail this particular fair value gap, this high, then that particular high, the euro would completely fail it, and then we run lower. Okay, as I expect the higher prices in the dollar index, we run lower in the euro USD, we run below this particular low. Then this particular low are my targets for the coming week. So should price deliver otherwise, what actually nullifies this chart is yeah, I don't see anything in the dollar index that should nullify that, but anything can happen. This is the forex markets, and anything at all can happen. But as it stands now, I don't have any plan for plan B or whatever it is. I'm just looking at this particular high. Okay, now should price run below this low on the dollar index, now I'm going to wait standstill and then see what price does, because it could be a total reversal for this um, long trend that we've been having, okay, over some months. So I'm just going to go with this. As I said, I'm looking at this high, then that particular high, but you can drop into this particular fair value gap before we run up higher. So that is my expectation for the coming week, and see you in the next weekend as we take a look at what the markets delivered again.